going to do today is exactly what we have been doing, except backwards. So far, you've been told these lines are parallel, and so you get all of these corresponding and alternate interior, all the things that are congruent and supplementary. We're just going to do that backwards and say, okay, if these angles are congruent or supplementary, whichever one, then the lines are parallel. So we're simply reversing the step. You see, if I did, then you just have two. I'm sorry about that. All right, so let's look at this and go ahead and fill in all the angles. Go ahead. It's right. If it's out, I'll buy more. So do you see how this one's 105? I can go ahead, you might need to write kind of small to get all your angles to fit in there. I know this one is also going to be 105 because those are what? What do we call it when they're across from each other like that? Perfect. Just dig down on your foot. Heads up, can you put the line? She understands what's going on. All right. Now a straight line is worth how much? Yeah, 180. So if this is 105, I know that this is going to be 75 because they're going to add up to 180. If you do 180 minus 105, you're going to get 75. And then so what can I put in this one? Yeah, 75. There's only two choices. There's not like a whole lot of options that you have here. All right, now if we come down and look at this line, line C, if that's 75, then I know this one is also going to be 75 vertical angles. And then the other ones are both going to be 105. If you're like, wow, it feels like we just wrote the same thing a bunch of times. Sure did. It's all that, do not overthink. The only thing you can really mess up here is overthinking this, right? Now, when we go and look at this one's a little different. If this is 85, the one across from it is going to be 85. And then these won't be 105. What are those going to be? Can anyone do 180 minus 85? Like, what is that going to give you? Close, it'll be 95. And so then this one is also 95. And then last one, when we get down to line E here, if this is 105, vertical angle is 105. And that means the other two are 75. Okay, so there's actually not enough blanks on this. There should be 3 blanks here. Which ones are parallel, do you think? Before I just tell you, use your common sense. There's 3 of them that are parallel. Which ones do you think? I'm looking for letters like B, C, D, E here. Which ones do you think are parallel? Just if you had to give it a guess. B is parallel to, because you said it, C, and then also parallel to E. Why is it those ones? Because you're right. I didn't even have to explain it to you. Why is it those ones? The angles are congruent. You have all your pairs. They all match. So line B and line C, we're going to say, and line E are parallel. Ones that are parallel, you can put these little arrows on them. So B, C, and E are all parallel. You have to remember the pictures are not to scale. Whether they look parallel or not, you can't just kind of tell by that. You have to look at the actual math that's in there. So you're looking for the ones that match up. Now, we just went over this and you just took a quiz on it. We're just going to write it out again. Corresponding angles are, and we're looking for congruent or supplementary. It's one or the other. So congruent or supplementary, do you think? Congruent, perfect. Go ahead and write congruent on that line. They're almost all congruent. All right, alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate exterior are congruent. Again, the worst thing you can do here is overthink. Just don't think too hard about it, okay? Now this says consecutive. The other way you can say that is same side. Consecutive means next to each other, so same side. They can't pull you from maps. Hold on, guys. Let me give you your papers. Let me pause.
No, it's so quick. It's so quick.
All right, so this says consecutive, it means next to each other. It's another way of saying same side. So when you see consecutive, that means same side. So these ones are not congruent, they are what? Yeah, supplementary. And if you want to abbreviate that, you can. Again, your notes belong to you. The point is just for you to understand what's going on. So that means they add up to 180. Now, vertical angles are also congruent, but they don't prove that lines are parallel. And you'll see when we get to that, you have to have at least one angle on each line, and vertical are only across from each other. So you don't have one like on each line. You'll see what I mean when we get to a picture here. Now I'm just going to read this to you. Here's, oh, you know what? I will use my blue and my purple highlighting like we did last unit. If lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. If I take it and flip it around, again, we're just going to do this backwards. If corresponding angles are congruent, then lines are parallel. And we call that a what? Hint, it says it on your paper. Converse. If all you did was flip it around, it's a converse. So what we're doing today is exactly what we've done before. Nothing changed. It's just backwards. Okay? So just flipping the sentence around. And I'm going to just hold tight for a second for the people that came in. You let me know when I can flip over. All right. I know that the lines look parallel, but you're not allowed to assume that. We're going to decide whether they're parallel or not, given the information. Okay, so this little symbol means congruence, the equals with the tilde on top of it. We're going to look at angle 1 and angle 5. Now, I'm going to draw on my picture. I don't want you to do that. Okay, your picture will get super cluttered. I'm going to have to erase everything. So just look. Don't draw this, just look. We have 1 is congruent to 5. Are 1 and 5 one of our pairs that we have a word for, like that we just went over on the other side? Do 1 and 5, can we call them something? Yeah, they are called corresponding. Good job. So if our corresponding angles are congruent, are the lines parallel? Yes, corresponding, congruent, that means the lines are parallel. That's one of our pairs, okay? So we're going to say M and N are parallel, and your two lines like that, yeah, good. Means parallel. If you get those two lines through, that's your symbol for parallel. We did go over that symbol back in Unit 0. I know it's been a minute, so I'm just re-explaining it. And then we're going to say why. I'm going to do a good bit of abbreviating here, because if I write out every single word, it's not going to fit in this space. So I'm going to call it corresponding. I'm just going to write core, C-O-R-R. So corresponding angles converse. And again, you always say converse because we reversed the sentence. That's all that it is. Your sentence is just going the other way. It's what I highlighted with the purple and the blue on the other side of the paper. So it's going to be whichever pair, angle pair you have. This was corresponding, converse. So again, I'm going to have to erase this to do the next one. Let's look at the next one. Hang in there. This isn't going to take too long if you just listen to me. All right, it says 2 is congruent to 7. So again, don't mark your paper. I'm going to have to erase this. We have 2 congruent to 7. Do we have a name for that? Like, can we call those? Are they something to each other? Are they a pair? They're alternate and exterior. Good. Are alternate exterior angles congruent? Yes. So we're going to say the lines are parallel. M is parallel to N. That's our conclusion. And we're going to say alternate, I'm just going to write ALT, alternate exterior, I'm going to write EXT for exterior. You can write the whole word if you want, I'm just trying to abbreviate it. Angles converse. See, I wrote too big, I can't make it fit. Alternate exterior angles converse is what that should say. Let me write it a little bit smaller. Alternate exterior angles converse. And then you just put converse at the end of all of it because you switched the sentence around. It's just the other way now. Cool. Good deal. All right, so let me erase this. We're going to look at the next one. So we've got 1 is congruent to 4. So look at the ones I marked. What do you think about those two? They are vertical, and they would be congruent. But can we say M is parallel to N if we don't have anything marked down here on N? No, you have to have something from 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then something from 5, 6, 7, 8. Just saying 1 is congruent to 4 doesn't use any of these angles. So we're just going to say no conclusion. We're not able to make any conclusion about that. It's not enough information. Please don't talk over me. You're just talking while I'm teaching up here. So no conclusion. So vertical is not good enough to say two lines are parallel because you don't have any information about the other line. All right, what's the next one? 3 is congruent to 6. So I'm marking them. Just look up here. Don't draw all over your paper. Are 3 and 6 one of our angle pairs that we can say something? Like, can we call them a word, like a vocabulary word? But alternate, perfect. Are alternate interior congruent? Yes, cool. So we can conclude the lines are parallel. M is parallel to N. And we're going to say alternate interior. I'm going to abbreviate. Angles, and then what? Since we switched the sentence, it's converse. Perfect. That just goes at the end of each of them. Feels like I'm talking about shoes or something. Converse. So we say they're parallel, alternate interior angles, converse. So it's just whatever the pair is, and then put the word converse at the end. All right, now the last one does not say congruent. What does it mean for 180? Instead of congruent, that means supplementary. Perfect. Okay, so let me mark them. It's angle 3 plus angle 5. So 3 and 5. Do we have a word for them, like the vocabulary? Same, good, you guys have got it. Same side interior. Our same side interior going to be supplementary, add up to 180. Yes, cool. So we can have a conclusion that the lines are parallel. And it's going to be same side. I'm just going to abbreviate SS. Same side, or did we say interior or exterior? Interior, angles, converse. So again, nothing is really new. It's the same angle pairs. The ones that were congruent before are still congruent. The ones that are supplementary are still supplementary. You're just reversing the sentence. You're saying since those are, congruent or supplementary, then the lines are parallel. It's just the other way around. We're just going to practice a few more, and then we're going to try a few. That's it. So go ahead and flip. Now this one has an extra line in it. There's just more for you to look at. Covering up one of the lines will help. Okay, so I'll just cover it up with my hand. Whichever one you don't have any information about is the one you're going to cover up. Again, don't mark on your paper because I'm going to have to erase all this. So we've got 1 is congruent to 8. Which line, and I'm looking for a letter like Q, S, T, or W, does not have anything marked on it? Which line is completely out of the picture here? W, perfect. I'm going to cover it up. W should not be a part of anything we're talking about. All right? Now, do 1 and 8 have a vocabulary word associated? Are they some sort of pair to each other? They're alternate exterior. Are alternate exterior congruent? Yes, okay. So which two lines are parallel? Q and S, good. Perfect. So Q is parallel to S. And we're going to say alternate what? Exterior angles. If you left out angles, I would still mark it right. Yeah, converse. The important part is the alternate exterior part. So you want to cover up the line that is not a part of anything that you're talking about. So again, you kind of just have to look. It's such an interesting topic to teach because I almost can't teach it. I just show it. I can't force you to see it. You have to kind of put it in your own brain. All right, we'll try a couple more. 4 is congruent to 9. So just look at the two I marked. Which line has no part of this? Which one am I going to cover? S. And what I'm also going to do is flip it this way so that the two I'm trying to look at go side to side. I feel like it's easier to look when they go horizontal. So I'm covering up S. Do these have a name? Perfect. So which two lines are parallel? Good. You guys are seeing that really well. T is parallel to W. We're going to say T parallel to W. And it will be alternate interior, good. Angles, converse. Hey, you guys are doing excellent with this. Very nice job. All right, next one. Angle 6 is congruent to angle 14. So again, just watch. I'm going to mark them on here. Here's 6, here's 14. Which line am I going to cover up that has no business being a part? Q. Okay, so I'm going to cover up Q, and I'm going to turn it this way so that my lines go side to side. Okay? Do 6 and 14, and this is the one we struggled with, so I'm hoping this goes better this time. Do 6 and 14 have a relationship to each other? Corresponding. Good. Do you see how we slid 6 down? It would match up where 14 is? Like they correspond, all right? Are corresponding angles congruent? Yes. All right, so which two lines are parallel? T and W. Good. That's the hardest part, is picking which two, and you guys are doing good with that. So T and W. And what am I going to write over here for my reason? Corresponding angles converse. Perfect. This is going so good. I'm super proud of you guys. Nice. All right, 2 more. So let me erase. Again, that's why I told you not to write all over your picture. All right, you've got 10 is congruent to 7. So here's 10 and here's 7. What do you think about those? Is there any line I can kind of cover up? Not really. And are 10 and 7 have any kind of relationship to each other? No, they're not even on the same line. Like if it was 15 instead of 7, we could maybe say something. But these have no relationship to each other. So we're going to just say no conclusion. Or just NA, like no conclusion. You can't conclude anything. Again, if it was 10 and 15, do you see how 10 and 15 would be alternate exterior? Then we could kind of conclude something. But those 10 and 7 are not anything to each other. And also, usually, if you can't cover up one of the lines, it's not going to work. Okay? Last one. Now, this is not congruent. This is supplementary. Okay, so we're looking for a same side something or other. 12 plus 14. So I'm looking at these two. Which line can I cover up that is not a part of any of this? T. Good. I'm going to get rid of T. Which two lines can I say are parallel since these are supplementary? Well, Q is one of them. Yeah, Q and S. So we're going to say Q is parallel to S. And which pair are these? Same side, interior. Do you see how they're in between the two Q and S, the two parallel ones? All right, so we're going to say same side, interior, angles, converse. Don't stop listening to me. The back of this, there's a space on Schoology for you to put your answers in. I'm going to make it available, but listen. Because this is true or false, you know how I usually give you 3 attempts? I can't do that for this, because if the answer is not true, then it's obviously false. So you only get 1 shot, but I made it so that it's half completion and half accuracy. So even if you get them all wrong, which I don't think will happen, you'll still get a 50. Do you understand? So you cannot get a 0 as long as you do it. But you do only get 1 shot. So think slowly and read through them carefully. Talk to your partner about them. And last thing I'm going to say is, do you remember how I was out last time? Yeah. I left you a Schoology Bell-ringer and I left you a Delta Math. If you neglected to do or finish either of those, they were for grades. Please finish them. I will be around to help you, okay?